Hi everyone, I'm playing my program trashing near hub deck against a Gabriel Santiago. Now there's some history behind this NBN deck. This is the deck archetype that I used to perform pretty well in the past two tournaments that I played in. I was using The World Is Yours with Power Shutdown and Archers and Ichi's Rotor Turrets Inazuma at that time. Now with the expanded card pool, I can improve on that deck, so I'm taking out for a ride, and hopefully this will be good enough to enter in tournaments in the coming future. So once again, we feature Power Shutdown, and this is a pretty good matchup for me. Gabriel Santiago typically doesn't run much hardware or support programs, so they just have naked corroders and passports, which are all juicy targets for Power Shutdown. Combine that with the Grill Ice, and that makes it very dangerous for Gabe to run unless he has all three breakers out. So, about my opening hand, it is a marginal hand, but against Gabe, I have to keep it because it contains 2 ice. You do not want to mulligan away a hand only to find that you have less than 2 ice in your opening hand. That is total suicide against Gabriel. If he senses even a sliver of weakness, you're just one indexing or one account siphon or one legwork away from losing the game. Here, he plays a sneak down on the first turn, which I find to be a very questionable strategy at best. I mean, yes, he doesn't want to face check Architect, I'll give him that. However, the sneak door was not going to yield much. I kept my hand, and I was in no trouble at all, because even if he hit the one agenda, the NEPD, I had no worries at all. He only had 3 credits. He was not getting in. So now, he attempts to sneak door again, but I found my Galahad. I have no choice but to res it. I'd rather keep the Grail Ice as a surprise to trash his programs when he least expects it. But I cannot afford to give him the free 2 credits from Gabe and access my breaking news or NEPD, so I'm keeping him out with both the Wraparound and Galahad. I don't really have much choice here. I just have to leak agendas from R&D until I have enough credits to res the toll booth that's protecting it. That is a huge pity, but there's nothing much I can do about that. That's the hand that I started with, and Grail Ice are pretty expensive, so this is a weakness of my deck. And against ND it's not so bad because Andromeda gives me 1 turn to set up, whereas Gabe comes charging straight right out of the bat. You notice that he made so many runs since the game started already, and it's just his 3rd turn. And he's keeping the pressure up by playing Parasite on my Galahad. Now, playing Power Shutdown to remove the Parasite is a viable option, but I'd rather save the Power Shutdowns for his valuable breakers. So I choose not to Power Shutdown. Instead, I play Sweet Sweep and draw up with Jackson Howard because I know Galahad is going to run out. So I trash all my agendas into archives except for the 1 breaking news. If he doesn't hit the breaking news, he only can access 1 card at a time. If he doesn't hit the breaking news, I will score it quickly. That will turn on Archer, so that will be good news for me. His first access was useless, it netted a Power Shutdown. I hope he doesn't run archives again. That will be pretty bad news for me. I hope to keep this breaking news, save it for when I can, when I can score it without worrying too much about my economy. Right now, I still need to stock up credits in case he runs R&D, so that I can res my toll booth. He runs archives, and I shuffle in the Galahad along with the 2 agendas. I want my Galahad back. Having more Grail support ice is always good. And on his last click, he runs R&D. I do not res the toll booth here. This is a huge risk, and well, he got the better end of that. I have no choice. This is because if I res the toll booth, I am showing weakness. He's just an inside job and emergency shutdown away from killing my toll booth, and I do not want that to happen. So my only option at this point is to wait another turn. Anyway, he only got 1 run on R&D, but he's now at match point, which really worries me. Now he runs on my HQ, which I don't worry too much about. I lose the breaking news, but it's fine. I know that no matter how much he sneak doors through my hand, he's not going to get the game win from me. He's only going to get to 6 points at most, which he is now at. But I'm still very concerned about that. That is definitely not where I want to be. And this basically means I must win the game without bleeding any more agendas. That is pretty difficult. I'm in a huge load of trouble, don't get me wrong. Just one more access can win him the game, and that can lead him to make certain plays that he wouldn't otherwise make, like inside jobbing my R&D just to get one card access. That is the kind of thing that I'm worried about. So I hope, I need to start scoring agendas as soon as I can, but I think I can because right now I have a Sansan City Grid on the board and he's pretty poor, and I have two asset economies working for me, so money is no longer an issue, which is a good thing. I can now rest my toll booth with ease of mind. And he has no breakers out. He's so poor, he has no breakers out, so things could be on the up for me. First, he runs my Sansan. Does he trash it? No, he doesn't. That's huge. I get to keep my Sansan because I don't play Biotic Labor in this deck. There's no influence for that. Sansan City Grid is my only way out. He didn't trash it, so that gives me an opportunity to score from R&D if I draw an Astro Script. He runs and trashes my Jackson Howard, which is a wise choice because I've already used one to shuffle due to agenda flooding. So I basically only have one Jackson Howard left in my deck. Next, he continues drawing up. He is starting to run out of steam. The pop-up window on Archives has really slowed him down and given me a lot of credits. And as if I needed more credits, I find myself flooded with Sweet Sweets and Hedge Fund. Well, I won't complain about having too many credits because most other games I'm short of credits. But right now, what I actually want to see is an Astro Script so I can get the train rolling on. I also want to see more ice, particularly Lancelot. Once I have a Lancelot in my hand, I can start threatening all three different types of ice subtypes should he attempt to run face check my unrest ice. So yeah, I used to play Gabe during the tournament that was Honor and Profit and before, but as the lunar cycle goes on, increasingly it is becoming more and more dangerous to face check ice without any breakers out. I mean, he's safe from Architect, sure, because he has a fairy on the board, but now he's vulnerable to Galahad and Merlin, both of which I haven't seen yet. So once I draw them and combine them with Lancelot, he's going to be in trouble. Yay, Astro Script. Score that. Fantastic. Good work. Now I just need to get the other two Astro Scripts fetched and I'll win the game. Easier said than done, huh? In the meantime, he just continues futilely checking my hand, which I'm more than happy to oblige. More than obliged to. After all, he's feeding me pop-up window credits and it's doing a lot of work. And it's slowly taxing him to oblivion. And as you notice, because of pop-up window, the combination of pop-up window and toll booth, he was down to 0 credits. And on his last click, he wasn't able to run on R&D again. But he does manage to shut down my toll booth, so I need to get my money back. That is a priority. Unfortunately, that very draw netted me a bill. If I play my money cards, I cannot score the bill. And he might run my HQ to win the game. So I was forced to score the bill from hand with Sansan City Grid still res. I can only pray that he doesn't run R&D this turn, and if he does, I can only pray that he doesn't hit an agenda. A Maker's Eye or Indexing could screw me here right off. But thankfully, he doesn't seem to be running any multi-access. He sees one card off the top of R&D and doesn't net anything. That was close. That could have easily lost me the game. It was a very unlucky draw because drawing anything other than an agenda at that point would have been safe. Heck, even an NEPD would have been safe, but I kept drawing all my vulnerable agendas. I couldn't afford to keep the bill in hand. It was not a safe place to be. So now I solidify my economy once more. Now I have money to rest whole booth, and I have a third piece of ice on R&D. Alright, he runs Archives at this point. I still do not rest the ice in front of the pop-up window. It's an archer. There's no point in resting the archer when he has a fairy on the board. So then he runs R&D and I show him the Galahad. Unfortunately, no Lancelot to combine with that. I think by now he should realize that he shouldn't be running my face down ice like that. But, well, for now he's escaping fine because I haven't drawn a Merlin or Lancelot yet. Wait till he does. Alright, I install a pet campaign, drawing into another card. At this point, my economy is superb. I don't need to worry about economy because I already have a res Sansan and all my ice is pretty cheap, except for the toll booth. And I just play a sweet to go up to 17 credits. Money is not an issue. The issue here is finding the Astro Scripts and guarding my servers. So he continues running and finds my City Grid. Well, in the meantime, I'm thinking of how to stop him, because once he plays his Corroder and Gordian Blade or whatever Code Gate Breaker he has on the board, I'm in trouble. And he begins doing so. He finds his Corroder and installs it. So now the pressure's on. Thankfully, he doesn't have a Gordian Blade to break through R&D just yet, but I need to be wary of that. That is a very dangerous prospect. I draw into an NAPD, which is bad news bears. Thankfully, he's dirt poor. That's the one problem with him. He didn't draw a Desperado early on. He didn't play it. As a result, he isn't getting any much money at all. He runs my archives, and that is his game-changing mistake. Why? He saw the archer from my hand so many times, and it disappeared for a while. He should have figured that that face-down ice was an archer. He couldn't break it even with a fairy because he was too poor. That was a huge oversight that could easily cost him the game. Very, very big mistake there. Of course, I choose to trash the Corroder and the fairy. No questions there. Next, he follows that up with an inside job. I'm pretty sure he wants to emergency shut down the archer right after I rest it. I'm going to say no to that. Simple pop-up window keeps him out. And as you see, pop-up window is doing a lot of work. I replaced them with Quandaries, which were in my earlier iteration of the deck, because this deck wants to end the run, not let the runner through. But it seems like pop-up window is doing a lot more work than I give it credit for. Pop-up window is a pretty good choice. Now I draw into a Galahad, and I'll protect my Sen server with it. And it's time to get rid of the NAPD in my hand. This is prime time to do it. He gave me a very, very good scoring window. Simply because he used up his inside job and he's down to 1 credit. So there is absolutely no way he can get enough credits and make an inside job run on my server to win by stealing the NAPD in the same turn. It's just not going to happen. He's way too poor right now. He has no backup economy, and he's completely shut of his only revenue source, which is running my HQ. So as a result, I've scored my NAPD without having to use my Astro token, mind you, and now I'm up to 4 points. He desperately needs money, and he desperately needs his breakers. I'm pretty sure that's what he's digging for at this point. I'm digging for my power shutdown so that I can get rid of his breakers at any moment's notice. This is the perfect this is the dream deck that I hope to fight against when I'm playing this program trashing deck. A deck that contains only events and resources and runs very few programs and hardware. I don't think he has any hardware besides Desperado, and his only programs are Sneak Door Beta and a few programs. So yeah, now my biggest concern right now is him drawing into his second copy of Corroder, because then he'll have free access to my HQ, direct HQ, which means that he can pull off legworks and account siphons. The latter could be devastating because that would pull him up to a lot of credits, which will allow him to snowball by installing Femme Fatale and other nasty programs. And of course, to trash my Sensen. I do not want that to happen, so I need to make sure he doesn't get a successful account siphon off. I'm too rich. I mean, I'm not concerned about losing credits at all. My main concern is that he's going to get rich quickly. I need to make sure that doesn't happen. Him being poor is the one reason why he's floundering right now, and I want to keep him there. And I see the good news. 2 Lancelots in a row, finally. I place one on HQ in the event that he attempts to run it. Now it can't be safe. He has to pull out both his Corroder and his Fairy in order to successfully run my HQ. So yes, I'm feeling pretty secure now. It's just a waiting game now. It's a matter of time before I draw my last 2 Astro scripts to win the game. He plays a show gamble. So now he's up to 9 credits. I await my fate. With 9 credits, he can do quite a lot of stuff. And here he decides to play a Parasite on my Galahad. Alright, very well. I draw into an Astro script. Normally, I would install and double advance to score this, but I know that my Galahad is at risk, my R&D is at risk, I'm not going to let him in. So I install a new Galahad over the old one. So he needs both a decoder and a fractor to get through my R&D. Otherwise, he needs at least a decoder and an inside job. which would be pretty expensive. So yes, him being poor is the main reason why I'm doing so well. Otherwise, he could just spam my toll booth and perform an inside job on R&D at this point. He installs a passport, and I show him the Galahad and the bad news. This time I actually do have a Lancelot with me, and his passport is going back to oblivion. So, over the course of this game, I've trashed 3 different breakers. He is in a lot of trouble. He placed another Parasite on my Galahad, but, well, the game's over. I drew into my NAPD, which I can fast advance from hand, and that seals up the game. That was very great, but it was also a very close call. I think that's the main problem with Gabe. The best archetype for Gabe involves running light on programs, instead focusing a lot on mostly events and a couple of resources. Security testing is pretty good in the current meta. And this leaves you very vulnerable to power shutdown, as you can see here. It just completely crippled him. Program thrashing completely crippled him. Once I shut him out of HQ, he wasn't able to do anything. Granted, he made a very crucial error. He should never have face checked the archer, and he knew it was coming. So that was a huge mistake from him. But otherwise, he ran out of steam, and that's what happens with Gabe very often, and that is why I no longer favor Gabe as a good criminal runner. Of course, Timmy, who came in 3rd place at Worlds, showed the world the exact contrary. Gabe is still pretty viable, of course, but you need to have a game plan for the mid to late game, which Gabe suffers from a lot because HQ runs become much fewer and further between. You need a way to close out the game, and he didn't have the multi-access he needed at the right time. That was unfortunate for him. Well, it was a game hard fought, and I came out victorious. Thanks for watching, and happy net running.